Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Gaming with me, Tony Mo, and we're here today with Wolfenstein: The Old Blood, the standalone $20 pre-sequel expansion to last year's Wolfenstein: The New Order, which was developed by Machine Games and published by Bethesda. Now, for those of you who haven't heard me say it 500,000 times, I loved The New Order to death. It was a great revival for Wolfenstein as well as for the single-player story-driven FPS. It didn't innovate, it didn't do anything crazy, but it was a great game and it felt good to play. Luckily, all of that's been preserved in The Old Blood, and the cool thing about this, as I said, it's a standalone $20 expansion. If you're someone who just didn't want to spend that money on The New Order but was very interested in playing it, now you can play the pre-sequel to that game at $20, and if you really love what you played of The Old Blood, The New Order can be picked up for around $40 these days. You really can't go wrong. Now is the time to give this game a go. However, if you played The New Order and you didn't like it, you're not going to like The Old Blood. There's nothing new here. All the same core gameplay mechanics are intact. What we really have is just more story, more of Machine Games' world of Wolfenstein, and I'm okay with that because I love what they did with Blazkowicz. His characters developed even more in The Old Blood, and I'm really excited to see what else they do with Wolfenstein. I think this is the key to unlock many doorways for the future of Wolfenstein with Machine Games. So let's go ahead, we're going to hop into our chapters here. As you can see, I'm about halfway through the game at about 2.5 hours. So I'm guessing full playtime for the game on the difficulty that I'm playing on, one of the harder difficulties, is probably going to be around 5 to 6 hours. Not bad for a $20 game if you're really someone who's worried about price per hour. And if you go and collect all of the goodies and you play the game on a harder difficulty, obviously it will take longer. Let's go ahead though, and we're actually going to head back to the docks. I feel like this is a very well represented portion of the game where you really get a good feel for the pacing of the game and the ability as a player to engage in straight up combat or to go to stealth. Something that the New Order did really well, but I feel that the Old Blood does even better. This is one thing that I do want to complain about. These pre-rendered in-game cutscenes that lock your frame rate to 30 FPS, they drive me absolutely Batman crazy. I don't know why they decided to do that. Why not just use the in-game engine and not pre-render them, just animate them? You could have kept it at 60 or whatever the player's frame rate was. Instead, we get that drop to 30, which you guys probably noticed because this is a 60 FPS video. Now, before we go ahead and hop into this boat and move forward, I want to talk about the pipes. Simply put, they're pipes. This is BJ Blazkowicz's crowbar, albeit much more useful than Gordon Freeman's crowbar ever was. Let's get things straight. In Half-Life, the crowbar just broke things. You smacked things with it. It didn't actually ever animate and interact with anything in the environment. These two lead pipes, which can be attached into one lead pipe, not only are a great melee weapon and a great counter tool for bludgeoning people to death, but they're also used to climb stone walls throughout the game, to explore new areas, and they're also used as a primary way of opening up passageways within the core game, not just as a, sort of exploration tool. Basically, they're more useful than Gordon Freeman's crowbar ever was. And Valve, if you're out there, and you ever make Half-Life 3 or Episode 3 a reality, that crowbar better be a lot more useful than it ever was, because Blazkowicz's lead pipes are showing you up. But no, seriously, these are a really important part of the game. They're at the core of the Old Blood. It seems like an odd thing to say, but they really are. They're really useful, and I like what they've done with them. Such a small tool that has been so well represented in the game, but let's kill some Nazis. After all, that's what this game is still about. That's what the New Order is about, and things haven't changed. It's about being a badass. You're BJ Blazkowicz. Your biceps are huge, and you can dual-wield assault rifles, and it feels damn good when you do it. Oh, and you can also carry around miniguns. That hasn't changed. And if you're expecting any more than that out of this game, you're obviously in the wrong place. However, if you're someone like myself who really enjoys what this has to offer, don't let anyone tell you otherwise. I know there are people out there who are really set on like, yeah, this isn't a video game. We need to progress, man. Things need to be deeper, dude. Like, where's the thought? Where's there are games that do that, and that's okay. But every game doesn't have to be like that. It's okay to kill things once in a while. Actually, it's okay to kill things as often as you want to kill things in video games. That's what video games are for. Damn it. Drives me crazy. If this is what you like, go for it. Enjoy it. Embrace the ridiculousness. Wolfenstein's doing a damn good job of it, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Going down, Patty. Oh, I don't want this thing again. Now, one of my favorite things about the New Order was how well Machine Games handled gunplay. I mean, it's something, regardless of, you know, the pacing of this game, the fact that, yes, you can play a lot of it stealth, and there are moments where you're, you know, using a minigun or inside of some sort of a boat, or, you know, just, you know, breaking the mold a little bit. Gunplay. The gunplay is still the most important thing because you spend a lot of time shooting things. It has to feel good. It felt good in the New Order, and it feels just as good here in the New Blood. They haven't changed that. Don't fix it if it isn't broke. And that's what they've done here. It still feels just as good to shoot things, and it still sounds just as good. The sounds in this game, the gunfire, just everything has always been really good. The small pieces of music, it's all really good. It all ties together the experience. Visually, nothing different from what you've seen in the New Order. I mean, the cool thing is that we're actually in Castle Wolfenstein. The last time anybody was in Castle Wolfenstein was the original. Well, yes, I know it's been redone in other games, but let's compare it to the original, shall we? There's pretty much 3 colors, barely 3D, and pretty damn ugly. From what I can tell, the Germans have really renovated the place. I mean, they've actually got some plumbing here. I mean, there's, like, you know, texture. It's come a long way, and it's really cool to see it, you know, envisioned by Machine Games in their own little way. Let's go ahead and open up this gate here. But, you know, visually the game, it has nice atmosphere. You know, it's a dark game. That's not to say that the color palette is completely lacking color. I think it's well represented in the German simplification throughout the game. Yeah, I guess that's the best way to put it. You know, the swastikas and the other German artwork that you see, the propaganda throughout the game. That's where it's represented. That's where the color is seen, and I feel like that's a nice little statement. Now, as I was talking earlier about stealth, the New Order allowed you to play a lot of the game stealth in the Old Blood. Actually, I feel in many ways because of it being a much shorter experience, you can actually stealth more of the Old Blood if you'd like to do so. I prefer to go in stealth as long as I can, and then when the time comes and the theoretical poop hits the fan, I'll break out the dual assault rifles and go to town. Now, many of you who have played the New Order may recognize the situation that I'm currently in. We do have officers that once again can warn others of our presence and basically call in reinforcements. That's what those 2 signal detected icons are in the top right corner of the screen. The best thing to do in this situation would be to hunt them down and stealth kill them so they can't call in reinforcements. So we're going to try that, but when all else fails, we will hunt them down and murder them anyways, preventing them from calling in any further reinforcements and making our day any worse than it's already going to be. Let's see if we can't stealth kill this guy. Yeah, I saw the dead bodies. I should have known. Alright. So the first thing we want to do is find the other guy and kill him as quickly as we can, because as I said, he's going to keep calling in reinforcements, and we don't want that. Let's go up here and grab ourselves. It's turret time. Let's do it. So at the end of the day, I mean, what are you getting out of the Old Blood is what a lot of people are probably going to want to know. And I mean, basically, it's just more of Machine Games' Wolfenstein world, right? What they created with the New Order, it's more of that. It's a pre-sequel, you know, they're telling you more of what's going down with BJ Blazkowicz, and I'm fine with that. I think that is Machine Games recognizing they actually told a good story with the New Order, and I completely agree. I think there's a lot of great character here, there's a lot of great dialogue, there's some bits and pieces of comedy. Overall, the game is just really well delivered. And that's that. That's that. You know, from a gameplay perspective and from a story perspective. So that's awesome, and I think it sets the precedent for future Wolfenstein games from Machine Games, and I would like to see that. I'd like to see more of this world. I'd like to see it expanded. I think there's a lot that can be done here. We still have targets, and we don't... Where's the key? Do you have the key? Just beat this guy down. Okay, there's the key. Oh, that was great. Alright. Let's just gather everything we can. The same system's in place. You know, we have that minimum health regeneration system. It only regens your health to 20. Other than that, you have to pick up med kits, overcharges. You also have to pick up armor and ammunition. And there's something that I find oddly satisfying about running over all of the carnage you just caused, mashing the X button on the controller, if you play with a controller like me, and just picking up tons of ammo and armor. That's just actually really enjoyable. I don't know why. Let's listen to what these guys have to say. He's a grammar Nazi. I've played this chapter 4 times now for this video, and I just got that. Oh man, I'm slow sometimes. You can tell I'm not on the up and up with the internet lingos, as they say. Let's quickly take this guy out before he... Oh, where'd he go? Where'd he go? Where'd he go? Where'd he go? There's a dog over to the left there as well. Shush! Lead pipe to the chest.
This air reminds me of the bog by the Johnson's farm back home. Smell of dead plants, wet wood.
So they tried to touch a little bit more on Blazkowicz. They did in the New Order as well. He was definitely talkative. They tried to develop his character, and they're continuing to do that in the New Blood, and I really like it, you know? I think critics can bash it to death all day like they, you know, like they'll do, and I'm not some sort of a hardcore, you know, story critic, but when I enjoy something, I know when I enjoy something. I don't need someone to tell me that I shouldn't be enjoying it, or how I should be enjoying it, for that matter. I enjoy what they've done with Blazkowicz. I like his character. And I like his gruff and tough approach. I think it's fitting. It doesn't just feel like he's sort of a super soldier. It feels like he's more of just a hardened man, and I'm perfectly okay with that. So that rifle that I have, that's one of the new sniper rifles in the game. It's a bolt-action, magazine-fed sniper rifle with a really cool piece of technology. I like when they do this sort of future tech, right? That's why I like what they've done with Wolfenstein so much. You have this sort of supernatural and the occult and all these mechs and armor suits, and we have a toggleable scope. Like, that's just cool. It's cool and it works really well. But here's what I was talking about earlier. We can use these pipes to actually climb these ledges. They've got to allow us to make use of the cover system while we're hanging from the ledge. Everything just, you know, it works really smoothly and really well. Alright, let's make our way through here. And I think that's one of the things that's really has always tied this game together. It has really good gunplay, but they didn't just make the traversal feel really stiff and sort of, you know, rigid. Everything feels great. Blazkowicz is very mobile. You can slide, you know, you can peek around corners. All of that feels really good. You can also, by the way, pro tip here, not that it matters, but if you ever need armor before engaging a set of targets, and if you can manage to sneak up on these guys, you can actually steal their helmets when they're not looking, and they won't even notice the difference. Oh, so we've got some hidden stuff. There's a lot of locations in the game that can be explored further than just what's on, you know, the surface. There are a lot of hidden passageways. There's gold to be found that will allow you to unlock concept art and character bios. And there are also hidden Wolfenstein 3D levels. Yes, you can actually go and replay the levels, these Wolfenstein levels, in 3D with this actual character model and these weapons. It's really odd because you're shooting 2D targets, but it's actually a lot of fun. And if you're a fan of the original games, I think it's a cool way to revisit those levels. Let's break out the Bombenschnauz. I know there's going to be a guy down here we're going to have to pick off. Oh, there's this guy here too. Good day to you. I feel like I'm gonna feel like a complete sinner for saying this, but I'd love to see some sort of a, you know, like cooperative or even multiplayer experience for Wolfenstein moving into the future. I feel like there's a lot to explore here. And if you guys played Wolfenstein Enemy Territory back in the day, that game was really cool and really special. And I refer to it all the time because it was a splash damage game. But if Machine Games could work on something, maybe even with splash damage, and bring that game back, that huge World War II themed, you know, cooperative multiplayer, PvP experience, I feel like that could be really, really freaking awesome. I would love to see that happen, you know, with the same sort of art style and setting that is being used in this game. Let's make our way forward though. So earlier I was talking about pacing, right? And I mean, the game can, you know, sort of be paced by how the player decides to play. You don't have to go guns blazing all the time. But the game recognizes that you don't have to make a first-person shooter a corridor shooter all the time. You can spend times navigating the environment. You know, there's secret passageways. You can sneak up behind targets. You have a multitude of options for engaging enemies, which is something that a lot of modern first-person shooters don't recognize. Halo has always done it very well. Call of Duty's been all over the place. If you look at the most recent entry, Advanced Warfare, the pacing was really well in that game. It didn't give the player a lot of choice, but they recognized that it was important to not just force people into combat over and over in the same manner. Ghost, on the other hand, didn't understand that, and that was pretty much the prime example of a really terrible corridor shooter. That was a terrible game. Luckily, Wolfenstein doesn't do that. It follows the path that the New Order set, and it gives the player more freedom than you would expect to have in this type of an experience. I love the fact that Blazkowicz is just smashing a pipe into a stone wall to climb it. It doesn't get better than that. Alright, I'm gonna try and keep this as stealth as I can here. We've got that cover system still in place. That's a really nice little system. Game is actually, it's very pretty at times, I'll be completely honest. There's moments when it's ugly and you catch a bad texture here and there, but even on the settings that I'm running at it, which is like a mixture of medium and high, I'm hitting 60 FPS, no problem. It's staying around there, very few drops, and there's just a lot of great lighting work, a lot of great textures. I think they nailed the atmosphere of Castle Wolfenstein. And as you push further in the game, you're going to get new zones that are a little bit more creepy, I guess would be the way to put it. I want to find this first guy here. You gotta be careful though, because if he spots the dead body, then, you know, that's gonna be it. Ghost is gonna be out of the bag, so to speak. He should be right around this corner here. There he is, look at him. Alright. It's game over. Let's find this last guy. I do not want him calling in reinforcements all over the place. You get back here. Alright, GG, game over there. We still got a few reinforcements, but nothing we can't deal with. Bada boom, bada bing. I think it's time to dual wield. What do you guys say? That's a grenade. It just feels good to unload and waste a ton of ammo sometimes. Never gets old. Yeah. Alrighty, I'm gonna make use of the pipe here once again. Like I said, there are times when it's up to the player to make use of the pipe to access, you know, like a side area, and there are times when it's just integrated into your core route, and I'm completely fine with that. You can tell I've done this part a couple times now. I'm recording this video. Let's take this guy out. Oh, gotta miss. Bada boom, bada bing. What this game has actually done a really good job of, and I hope it'll do this for people who haven't played the New Order, is it's made me want to go back and replay the New Order once again, because I really did enjoy that game. It was lengthy and it was really, really good. And I think that this was a really smart move by Machine Games, making this a standalone expansion. You know, people can look at it like it's just about the money grab, and yeah, people need to make money, but the big thing is you have the opportunity to experience, you know, this Wolfenstein game at $20. Completely standalone. It's not DLC, it's a proper standalone game and expansion, and I'm all about that. I really hope a lot of people pick this up, they find it discounted even, cheaper than 20, and they realize that this is good, man, and they go and they play the New Order. And the best thing about it is you can pick this up plus the New Order for probably less than the cost of, you know, a full retail game, $60, and that's just awesome. And I want to see this game do well, I want to see this series do well, I want to see Bethesda continue to publish games from Machine Games. You know, I want to see them make more Wolfenstein, I really do. I have a soft spot for World War II stuff, and, you know, whether it's like more realism based, you know, things like Brothers in Arms, or, you know, when it's just over the top stuff like this, I'm all for that. Let's see here. Okay, if I remember correctly. Oh. Gotta open this gate over here. See, the cool thing was, like, when we talk about the freedom that this game actually gives you, I could have opened this the last time I was here and swam over there and did this side first. So that was actually a small bit of player choice. It was unexpected. Well, the first time I played it, I didn't even consider that. And, you know, it took me, after realizing what actually had happened, that, you know, I could have made that choice on my own. So just a nice change of pace, you know? Again, a lot of the stuff that's done really well here was done really well in the New Order. It just carries over. I mean, which is why if you played the New Order, I mean, it's a no-brainer. Pick this up. You're gonna love it. You really are. Another use for the lead pipe here. Break down some walls. Let's break out the suppressor once again. Make our way alongside the ridge here. You can kind of just get a, you know, stop for a moment, and there's a lot of locations in the game where you get to, you know, just have a nice look at Castle Wolfenstein, you know, see what they've done with it, the modeling. I think whoever designed it did a really good job. It definitely captures the, you know, the sort of time period that they're going for, this weird semi-futuristic, you know, Nazi-ruled world. Ah, I was hoping I could hit that guy, because if we shoot him in the backpack, that's going to blow up. He's actually heavy, he's quite heavily armored, and he does have the shotgun that we're going to hopefully be able to obtain as soon as we learn how to switch weapons here. There we go. Also, if you tag him, he's going to have a pretty big explosion. You can use that to actually take out multiple targets around him, which is always helpful, but let's go ahead and break out the shock hammer. Yeah. This is a man killer, that's for sure. Dropping guys real quick. Ah, including us. Alright. So to sum things up regarding the New Blood, you know, as I said, if you liked the New Order, play this. You're not gonna regret it. You know, you're gonna get more story, and if anything, it's just gonna get you excited to, you know, to consider and to sort of speculate on the future of Wolfenstein with you know, with Machine Games and Bethesda. And I think that if they're out there, they need to understand, you know, how well this is being received. I'm not the only one who's been playing it who's really been enjoying it. A lot of people have said great things about it. I really can't recommend it enough. And you know, if like I said, if you're expecting like something crazy and innovative, you're not gonna get that. I mean, don't get me wrong, this is a good game, but it's not like breaking new ground. It's a return to a genre that a lot of us just thought was dead, that we thought could not be, you know, made enjoyable anymore. Like, you know, a lot of people just said, why make games like this? You need to go in a new direction. And I think Machine Games has said, no, we can still deliver a really great experience. It's just about how you design it. It's about how you deliver it to the player. And that's why I think this game is important. This and the New Order are both important, and that's why I think they're special. And that's why I can't say enough positive things about the game. You know, I really do strongly recommend it. So I'm gonna go finish cleaning up some Nazis, being all BJ Blazkowicz, and hunt down a man by the name of Jaeger. That's kind of what I'm on for my journey right now. Once again, can't recommend this game enough to you guys. If you're, you know, at all considering it, go for it. If you're someone who, you know, didn't play the New Order, I think this is a great way to get a taste of that. At a really low entry-level price, 20 bucks, you really can't go wrong there. For those of you guys who played the New Order, maybe you picked this up, let me know what you thought of it, you know? Did you play the New Order? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Did you pick up the Old Blood? Are you going to? What are your thoughts on that? Let me know down in the comment section below, and as always, if you have any questions for me regarding what you saw in the video or what I said, feel free to leave those down in the comment section below as well, and I'll see you in the next one.